Imagine this. You're standing in a parking lot. It's late. The lights above you are flickering. And just as you reach for your car door, someone behind you says your name. Not a guess, not a mistake, your name. You turn around, and there's a stranger standing there. Someone you have never seen before in your entire life, smiling at you, like they've known you for years. How would that feel? Because for the three people in tonight's stories, that moment was just the beginning. I'll call her Sarah, sent us this message. She wrote, "I don't know how he knew. I had never met him, but somehow he already knew everything about me." Stay with me tonight, because what happened to Sarah and the others you're about to hear will make you think twice about every stranger who looks at you a little too long. Let's begin. I want to start by saying, I am not someone who scares easily. I grew up in a small town in the Pacific Northwest, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone, where you leave your front door unlocked and your car running in the driveway in winter. I was used to strangers being friendly. I was used to people knowing my name. But this was different. It was a Tuesday night in late October. I know it was a Tuesday because I always do my grocery shopping on Tuesdays, late, around 10 p.m, after my daughter goes to sleep. My husband works night shifts, so it's just me. A quiet hour of shopping while the store is nearly empty. I liked the routine. It felt safe. That night, the store was even quieter than usual. Maybe 6 or 7 people total scattered across the aisles. I had my headphones in, going through my list. Milk, bread, eggs. I was in the cereal aisle when I felt it. That feeling. If you've ever felt truly watched, not the casual glance of someone passing by, but the deep, deliberate weight of eyes that have been on you for too long, you know exactly what I mean. It's different. It sits differently on your skin. I pulled out one earbud and glanced to my left. At the far end of the aisle stood a man. Tall, mid-40s maybe, dark jacket. He wasn't reaching for anything on the shelves. He wasn't looking at his phone. He was just standing there, looking directly at me. I gave a polite half smile, the kind you give strangers when you accidentally make eye contact, and turned back to the shelf. I moved to the next aisle. Canned goods. He was there. Not ahead of me, not behind me. Already there. Standing near the soups, in the same position. Watching. My chest tightened, but I told myself I was being paranoid. Maybe he worked there. Maybe he was waiting for someone. People stand in grocery stores. That's normal. That's allowed. I moved faster now. Bread, done. Juice, done. I just needed eggs and I was leaving. I turned into the dairy section at the back of the store. And that's when he spoke. Sarah. I froze. He was right behind me. Close enough that I could hear him breathe. And he had said my name. Not as a question, not as a surprised recognition, but the way you say the name of someone you've known for years. Calm, familiar, like he'd said it 1,000 times before. I turned slowly. He was smiling. A soft, patient smile. His hands were in his jacket pockets. Long week? He said. I couldn't speak. My brain was running every possible explanation at once. Do I know him? Did we go to school together? Does he know my husband? My mouth finally managed. I'm sorry. Do we know each other? His smile didn't change. You always shop late on Tuesdays, he said. Your daughter goes to sleep around 8:30. You like the store quiet. The air left my body. I grabbed my cart and walked, almost ran, to the front of the store. I told the cashier there was a man following me. By the time the store manager came out to check, the man was gone. No footage on the cameras that night. Apparently, the system in that section had been having issues for days. I changed my shopping night. I changed my routine completely. But for months after, I would sometimes be in the middle of something ordinary, making coffee, watching TV, and I'd hear it again in my head. The way he said my name, like he already knew everything, and he was just waiting for the right moment to show me. I'm a pretty private person. I don't post much on social media. No check-ins, no vacation photos, nothing that tells the world where I am or what I'm doing. My profile on most platforms is basically empty. I keep it that way on purpose. So when I got a friend request one night from someone I didn't recognize, I wasn't immediately alarmed. It happens. Mutual friends, old acquaintances, work contacts. People send requests for all kinds of reasons. What made me stop was the profile picture. It was a photo of me. Not a photo I had ever posted. Not a photo taken at any event or gathering I could place. It was a photo of me, sitting at my desk, in my bedroom, at night. Taken from outside, through my window. I could see the reflection of the glass in the corner of the image. I could see the glow of my monitor on my face. I could see the exact angle, slightly upward, which meant whoever took it was crouching outside, in the bushes, beneath my first-floor bedroom window. The account had no other photos, no posts, no friends listed. The name on the account was just 2 words, my first name and my last name. I reported the account immediately, locked my windows, called a friend to come stay with me that night because I genuinely could not be alone. The account was removed within a few hours. Facebook said it violated their policies. But here's the part that still keeps me up sometimes. 3 days later, when I was pulling out of my driveway in the morning, I noticed something in the bushes by my bedroom window. Broken branches, flattened grass, a footprint in the soft dirt, pointed toward the glass. Whoever it was had been standing there, in the dark, long enough to get the shot just right. They knew my name. They knew my face. They knew exactly where I slept. And I never found out who they were. My grandmother passed away when I was 16. She was the closest person in my life. We had this thing. She used to write me letters, real handwritten letters, in her small looping cursive, with little drawings in the margins. When I went off to college 2 years later, I kept her old letters in a shoebox under my bed. It was the only piece of her I had left. First semester, sophomore year. I was stressed, lonely, the usual. I came back from class one afternoon to find an envelope on my dorm room floor, slipped under the door. My name was on the front, in her handwriting. I told myself it wasn't possible. I told myself I was tired, that grief does strange things to the mind. I sat on my bed for a long time, just staring at it. When I finally opened it, the letter inside was one paragraph. It talked about a dream I'd had 2 weeks before, a very specific dream that I had written about in my journal. It talked about the argument I'd had with my roommate that nobody knew about. It referenced a nickname my grandmother used to call me that I had never told anyone. Not a single soul. The handwriting was identical. Every loop, every slant, identical. I took it to the campus writing center and asked someone there, casually, without explaining why, whether handwriting could be replicated that perfectly. They said it was possible, but would take someone an enormous amount of time and reference material. Reference material. I thought about my grandmother's letters in the shoebox under my bed. When I got back to my room, I checked. The shoebox was still there. The letters were still inside. But they were in a different order than I had left them. Someone had gone through them, carefully, and put them back. I never received another letter after that. I never found out who had been in my room. I transferred schools the following semester and told myself it was for other reasons. But sometimes, when I think about that letter, about the dream it described, the fight it mentioned, that nickname written in her exact hand, I feel something I can't quite name. Not grief, not fear, something older than both. 3 different people, 3 different lives, 3 different moments where a stranger, or something wearing the shape of one, reached into their world and touched something deeply, deeply personal. The things that scared them most weren't the darkness or the unknown. It was the intimacy of it, the detail, the feeling that someone had been watching quietly, patiently, for a very long time. Before you close this video tonight, I want to ask you something. Has a stranger ever known something about you that they shouldn't have? Has something ever happened that you couldn't explain? Leave it in the comments below. We read every single one. If these stories stayed with you, and I think they did, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. New stories every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We'll be here. In the dark. Waiting. Good night.